In my past 12-volt RV air conditioner tests, the Countrymod has been the unit to beat. And today, it's defending that spot against three new challengers. We have the Gidrox 12,000 BTU heat pump model, the Turbro 12,000 BTU model, and the Vlim 10,000 BTU model. So the question is simple. Can the Countrymod stay on top, or will one of these new ACs finally dethrone it? For this test, I powered all four ACs with the same battery, the new LiTime 12-volt 320 amp hour RVC Victron Communication Bluetooth self-heating lithium battery. This battery has Bluetooth monitoring, self-heating, a 200 amp BMS, and this version adds RVC Victron communication. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is the size and power density. This battery is about the same size as many 12-volt 100 amp hour batteries, but instead of 100 amp hours, this one is 320 amp hours. So in a lot of RV battery compartments, one of these could replace three 100 amp hour batteries, and it would still give you more energy. This one battery is 4,096 watt hours. Think about that. More usable energy, fewer batteries, fewer cables, fewer connections, and a huge savings in space. For the AC testing, all four units were tested outside in the same hot and humid conditions. The temperature was about 99.5 degrees with 59% humidity. For testing equipment, I used the same custom duct, airflow meter, temperature probes, Victron SmartShunt, and Decibel X app on the same iPhone. For the main performance test, each AC was tested in turbo mode. I measured delta T, airflow, watts, and amps. Then I used those numbers to calculate sensible cooling output in BTUH and EER. For the noise test, I measured sound directly under each AC from 30 inches away while the AC was running in turbo mode. For scoring, I used a 100-point system. Features are worth 10 points. Installation and footprint are worth 10 points. Calculated BTUH is worth 30 points. EER or efficiency is worth 25 points. Cost per calculated BTUH is worth 15 points. And noise level is worth 10 points. The first AC is the Countrymod. It is advertised as a 10,000 BTU 12-volt rooftop RV air conditioner. It costs $939, weighs about 54 pounds, and fits a standard 14 by 14 inch roof opening. The Countrymod has electric oscillating vents, but it doesn't have heat or a built-in light, and it requires more assembly than some of the others. In the test, the Countrymod had a delta T of 28.1 degrees and airflow of 329.5 CFM. That gives it a calculated cooling output of 9,999.7 BTUH. It used 691 watts in turbo mode, which was the lowest turbo power draw in this comparison. That gives it an EER of 14.47, which was the highest efficiency score of all four ACs. For noise, it measured around 65 to 66 decibels in turbo mode. Now the next AC is the Gidrox. This one is advertised as a 12,000 BTU 12-volt rooftop RV air conditioner with a heat pump. It costs $1,099.99, weighs about 54 pounds, and fits a standard 14 by 14 inch roof opening. Feature-wise, this is the strongest AC in the group because it's the only one with heat. And for a lot of RV owners, heat is a big deal. It also has a built-in light, but it doesn't have electric oscillating vents. The connection between the AC and the battery cable uses a nut and bolt style connection for both the positive and negative wires. Then those connections need to be wrapped with electrical tape. Now it works, but for a permanent install, I think it needs a better insulated connector solution. In testing, the Gidrox had a delta T of 26.6 degrees and airflow of 383.6 CFM. That gave it the highest calculated cooling output in this comparison at 11,022 BTUH. It used 850 55 watts in turbo mode, giving it an EER of 12.89. In eco mode, it used 515 watts and 38.6 amps. For noise, the Gidrox was the loudest AC in the test at 67 to 68 decibels. Now the third AC is the Vlim. This one is advertised as a 10,000 BTU 12-volt rooftop RV air conditioner. It costs $875.99, weighs about 57 pounds, and it was the smallest AC in this comparison. And unlike the Countrymod, Gidrox, and Turbro, the Vlim did not require the power cord to be assembled. Feature-wise, it has a built-in light and electric oscillating vents, but it doesn't have heat. In the test, the Vlim had a delta T of 26.9 degrees and airflow of 323.6 CFM. That gave it a calculated cooling output of 9,401 BTUH. It used 774 watts in turbo mode, giving it an EER of 12.15. In eco mode, the Vlim used only 241 watts and 18.05 amps, which was the lowest eco mode power draw in this comparison. It was also the quietest AC in the test at 62 to 63 decibels. The fourth AC is the Turbro. This one is advertised as a 12,000 BTU 12-volt rooftop RV air conditioner. It costs $1,099, weighs about 61 pounds, and fits a standard 14 by 14 inch roof opening. Now, before I go through the results, I do want to say that I am a big fan of Turbro products. I currently have the Turbro 120 volt 13,000 BTU inverter AC installed on my van. Now, I like the quality of Turbro products and I love the app, and I've been very happy with my current AC's performance. This 12-volt Turbro also has a really good app and the build quality seems solid, but compared to the others in this test, it was light on features. It doesn't have heat, a built-in light, or electric oscillating vents. It also had more parts to assemble than the others. In the test, the Turbro had delta T of 23.4 degrees and airflow of 363.72 CFM. That gave it a calculated cooling output of 9,192 BTUH. It used 734 watts in turbo mode and 360 watts in eco mode. That gives it an EER of 12.52. For noise, it measured around 65 to 66 decibels in turbo mode. Now let's look at the final scores. In fourth place is the Turbro with a final score of 81.4. In third place is the Vlim with a final score of 88.1. In second place is the Countrymod with a final score of 91.1. And in first place is the Gidrox with a final score of 91.5. So the Gidrox officially dethroned the Countrymod, but it was very close. The Gidrox won because it had the highest calculated BTUH and the strongest feature set, mainly because it's the only AC in this comparison with heat. But it was also the loudest AC, it used the most power, and the power connection needs a better solution. The Countrymod was only down by about half a point. It had the highest EER, the second highest calculated BTUH, and the lowest turbo mode power draw. So even though the Gidrox finally edged it out, the Countrymod is still an extremely efficient and proven performer. And to put that in perspective, so far this year, I have tested 10 different 12-volt rooftop RV air conditioners. If I rank all 10 by calculated BTUH only, the Gidrox 12K comes in first. The Countrymod 10K comes in second, the Vlim 10K comes in third, and the Turbro comes in fourth. But I want to be careful with this chart. These were not all tested on the exact same day, and calculated BTUH is affected by environmental conditions like temperature, humidity, and how much energy the AC has to spend removing moisture from the air. But it's still useful context because all of these numbers came from my real-world testing method. For me, the Vlim was the biggest surprise performer. It was the smallest unit, the quietest unit, had the lowest eco mode power draw, the easiest installation and the best cost per calculated BTUH. And for a 10,000 BTU AC, its calculated BTUH was very impressive. The Turbro came in fourth in this test, but it also placed fourth on my list of 10 ACs I have tested this year, beating out some well-known brands like the Mods Pioneer and the OutEquip Pro 12-volt ACs. So my final takeaway is this. The Gidrox is the new winner if you want the strongest cooling output and heat mode. The Countrymod is still top dog if efficiency and lower turbo power use are your top priorities. The Vlim was the surprise performer if you want something smaller, quieter, and easier to install. And the Turbro is still a great option, especially if you prioritize app functionality, build quality, and low power use. Check out the description for links to the ACs and the LiTime battery used in this test, along with any discount codes I have available. So if this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, and follow along because I'll be testing more RV air conditioners, batteries, solar, and off-grid power systems. So until then, stay cool.